Hey, what's going on, people? So I got a message from one of my subscribers, and she asked me to make a video addressing the issue of online dating. So she wanted me to basically talk about what my opinion was on the matter and whether it works. She basically asked me, does online dating work? And my answer to that would be yes and no. And the reason for that is very simple. Online dating is not that much different from other forms of socialization other than the fact that it happens through the internet. I think it's still because the internet is still new in the mind of some people. It doesn't really take in a complete hold in our modern society. But to be honest, it's not that much different. For some people, it's actually good because they have a harder time going out and talking to girls in bars or clubs or whatever. But online, yeah, it's easier because they don't have to deal with the trepidation or the fear of rejection as much. That being said, statistically speaking, it appears that online dating doesn't really produce as many long lasting relationships as websites would like to advertise. I've had some experience with online dating. I've met a lot of girls online before, and I don't know. I prefer to reserve judgment, but I would say the problem with online dating is that it creates an environment that is laced with assumption and expectation. You know, people are no longer people, they're just pictures with interesting profiles and words underneath the picture. And what that does is that it affects people's perception of you, and it creates a lot of expectation that may or may not be warranted. So I think that's probably one of the things I don't like about it, because you can never really get to know a person if you already have your mind made up about who or what that person might be. And that happens more often with women than it does with men. That's because most guys that are online on the internet or those with dating sites are usually looking to get laid, or they're looking for a date. There's not too many guys that are actually looking for relationships, whereas women are looking for relationships. Although some are just looking for fun. And yeah, what can I say? What I think the problem is, it's that it creates what I call a supermarket effect. And basically, girls get used to having 30, 40 guys messaging them all the time. Some of those guys want sex, some of those guys want to get to know them. But what that does is that it prevents you from actually paying attention to those guys that might be good for you. What I mean is, for example, a girl might have 30 guys talking to her, and she's talking to all of them at the same time, which is fine. She's trying to get to know them. But the problem is, she ends up dedicating a certain amount of time to each of these people without really giving attention to those that might actually deserve it. So, and the thing is, out of those 30 guys, half of them are just people that she's talking to because she finds them good looking. Then the remaining 25%, she's talking to them, but she doesn't really see herself staying with them long term. So that leaves maybe another 25% of guys out of the 30 that she's actually interested in. But how much time is she really dedicating to those people? And if she doesn't put as much time or effort, those guys either move on to something else or the interest is lost. So that's the thing. And what ends up happening is the only thing they get out of it is some dates or some relationships that last for a little bit but don't really go very far because they didn't have the time to create the proper foundation. So it depends on how you approach it, really. If you go on those dating sites with the idea that you want to find somebody and you're willing to put the time and effort with each individual that you're interested in, then yeah, you might find what you're looking for. But a lot of girls, especially the younger ones, like from 20 to 25, they go there because it's a way for them to blow up their own ego and because it's fun. And they hope to find something meaningful out of it. But you can't really find something meaningful when you're doing it, when you're not doing something in a meaningful way. You can't develop a serious relationship out of flirting online and stuff like that. You need to actually get to know a person. And that's the thing. in real life, when you meet someone, you know very early whether or not you could see yourself with that person long term. You talk to a person, you know how they look like, you hear them talk, you see how they socialize with people, so you have an idea. So that right there takes away a lot of things. Whereas online, it's like at first all you know is a picture and a few words, and you have to talk to them, but you don't really know who they are. And on the internet, anyone can be anyone. So it's harder to develop something long lasting in a setting like that. So that's my opinion on the issue. Um, if you want to find love online, then best of luck to you. But you have to be willing to put the time and effort to actually get with the person and get to know the person. And you have to also be genuine yourself. You know, you have to go out there and be who you really are and say who you are and be real to the people you talk to. And there's no point leading people on either. So that's the best advice I would have for you. Does it work? Yes. Does it work often? No. And if you want to make it successful, you have to be serious about it. You have to be serious and you have to be mature. Otherwise, people are going to play games with you too. If you play games with someone, they will play games with you. So you pretty much get what you put out most of the time. I mean, sometimes some guys are slick and they'll just lie to you and lead you on and make you believe that they're something they're really not. But half the time, the only girls that fall for those tricks are girls that are shallow and didn't put the time to actually find out what they were dealing with before they became emotionally involved. So yeah, that's my advice for you. If you want to do it that way, take it seriously. Personally, I don't mind online dating as long as you do it seriously, or as long as you know what you're looking for. If you're out there looking for sex, then be about that. If you're out there looking for a relationship, then that's fine. But don't go out there expecting a dating site to be a supermarket where you go and just find a boyfriend ready-made for you. It doesn't work like that. So that's my advice for you. If you have any questions, just inbox me or send me a message later.